Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Monica. I like to post anti-MLM life and some true crime content here on this channel. So if any of that interests you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to stick around. In today's video, I am bringing you anti-MLM content. So of course, just as a disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only and just my opinions. Today we're going to be reacting to one of those behind the scenes Zoom call training. I wouldn't necessarily call it a training per se. I think it's more so one of the uplines is getting on camera, talking to their downlines, and just trying to make them feel better about their choice to join Arbonne. Yes, we will be reacting to Arbonne today. I don't think I've ever reacted to an Arbonne Rep here on this channel, but if you watched one of my previous videos, I talked about how my next reaction video would be to an Arbonne Rep who has been in the business for 18 years. This is that person, so without further ado, let's get into this reaction.
Go. All right, guys, thank you all so much for popping on a Tuesday night. I am so excited to spend time with you this evening. I have been craving my people. I've been craving our community and just our Arbonne family. I can't tell you how much you guys have done for me the last 2 months. You have just been incredible. I have received some of the sweetest cards, text messages, phone calls, Voxers. Just thank you guys. This is my home. I talk all the time now when I share this opportunity about, how there's a place for everybody at our table. And I want you guys to know how much you truly do mean to me. I really do feel that one of the best parts of our business is our Arbonne community. So
I know it's so early to stop it, but two things. No, there is not room for everybody at your table, because anyone who tries to educate you on Arbonne, you think of them as a hater. And to be completely honest, I have no problem with these MLM reps. I have a problem with the structure, and I do understand that a lot of these reps, they are indoctrinated. Are there some that had a questionable moral compass before they entered the MLM? Yes, there definitely are, and the MLM probably kind of accentuated it a little bit more. So I do know that those people exist, but there are a lot of just your regular, everyday, stay-at-home moms or people who are looking for a community. And that brings me to the second point, is that she talks about how this is a family, this is a community. This is just another tactic to target people who are looking for a sisterhood. A good example is we moved to Florida over a year ago. The only people that we know here are my fiance's brother, his brother's wife, and my nephews. And of course, we have my future sister-in-law's family, but I don't really talk to them all that much. And so when we moved here, we only had them. And if this was me back in the day when I was a little less introverted, and if this was back in the day when I did want to have people that I could go to, that I did want to have people that I could go shopping with or go out with or something like that. I mean, not right now because of what's going on in the world, but when we first moved down here, that would be something that maybe I would have been looking for if I was younger. However, as I have gotten older, as I said, I've become a little more introverted and I've kind of stepped back a little bit, and I'd rather have a small group of friends that I can count on and that can count on me, rather than a bunch of people that we just go out to the bar with and they don't give about me per se, and I care way too much about them because that's just the type of person that I am. I care about literally everybody. But that is what some people are looking for. Especially, I've talked about this before, this is predominantly a military town. There are a lot of military families here. There's a lot of retired military here because there is a base right up the road. And I'm sure you might have heard some of the planes in some of my previous videos just flying over. But anyway, that's besides the point. But some of those spouses of military personnel, or even military personnel themselves, if they have the extra time, some of these people are looking for that sense of community, that sense of, well, if I join this MLM, I'll have people that are in my corner. I'll have people that are supporting me. And so some people are looking for that. So right off the bat, already targeting someone.
So with that being said, I am honored to be able to have been asked to be a part of this 100-day challenge group with some of my incredible rockstar MVPs that are 1,000 times more creative and talented and organized than I am. And I love because we all have different talents, things that we're really great at, strengths that we have, whereas other people may have strengths that I don't have. It's awesome because we can kind of partner together. And I love this 100-day challenge so much, you guys, because everything that we're focusing on are the things that we have to do to be able to grow forward in our business, and not even just in our business, but just in life in general. So I want to talk with you guys just about daily habits. I know that you guys all
I will agree with her that when you have people, I guess you could say a variety of people where you might have certain strengths and you'll have certain weaknesses, and someone else can complement that, and they can be the strength. Maybe their strengths is what your weaknesses are. Okay, I know that was kind of confusing, but I think that you guys get what I was trying to say there. So I will agree with her there that is always good to have a variety of people like that, because that's how you're going to work with one another, and that's how you're going to be able to get things done. Even if you want to look at 9 to 5s, if you're working on, let's say that your department has some big project that they have to get done, and you might be good at one thing, but you suck at something else. I'm just going to call it how it is. And then your coworker is really good at that thing that you suck at. So you're able to come together and you're able to get this project done because the both of you are contributing to the subject matter or whatever you're doing. So I will agree with her on that it is always great to have even if it's just with your friends, even if you just have a group of friends where you guys kind of are able to work together, and when it comes to really anything out there. Because if you're going to be the same as someone else, now I'm not saying that if your friends are the same person as you, I'm not saying that that's bad, but you do need a variety of different people. You do need a variety of different, I would even say a variety of different opinions. I love to have people around me who have a different opinion because I love to be able to hear another side. I may not agree with the person, but at the end of the day, we can agree to disagree, which is something that I'm very big on this channel, because I have had pro MLM people, I have had MLM reps comment on my videos, or even talk to me outside of YouTube, talk to me on social media. And I love furthering that discussion because while I don't agree with what they do, I don't agree with the MLM structure itself, it doesn't mean that we can't be friends. It doesn't mean that we can't be civil. And unfortunately, not everybody thinks that way, but that's just something that I wanted to mention. I know I rambled. Sorry, guys.
In this group have purchased the 90-day journal, which I love. I know that you guys have all gotten yours filled out. But what I want to share with you guys is I've been, in this business for 18 years. In the 18 years that I've been in this business, I have been taught that it's what you guys do in the quiet moments of your day when nobody else is watching. Those are the times that are going to add up and are going to compound over time, that are going to bring you to the success that you want to have in your business. And, we don't hear, a lot of times we don't hear about those things. We only see that big grandiose moment that's posted on social media. But it's those quiet moments, those moments where you can choose to do one thing or do another, and it's those one things that are going to continue to compound and add up over time. It's those exchanges of your time. So I wrote a few notes, and I want to kind of go through these with you guys and then kind of ad-lib a little bit on it. I'm going to try to keep an eye on this wait list too, because I don't want anyone to be stuck and not be able to get in. So you guys, it's very easy to overestimate the importance of one defining moment and then underestimate the value of making small improvements over time. So, all the little things that we do, you think, oh, well, it's not that big of a deal, so I don't have to do it. And then you don't do it. And then it happens day after day, week after week, month after month. And then you guys are in the same position year after year. And we find ourselves 5 years, 10 years down the road, and we feel like we haven't grown in our business. And why is that? And I find a lot of times it's because we have not stayed consistent with those little things. So you guys, oftentimes we will convince ourselves that.
Let me just say this real quick. If you are an MLM rep watching this, if you've been in an MLM for 5 to 10 years and you have not seen any kind of growth, run for the hills. That is a red flag that this is not a good business model. Seriously, if you have not seen any kind of growth between 5 to 10 years, that's a really big deal. And that is very concerning. The fact that she's been in Arbonne for 18 years, I'm going to assume that she is higher ranking. And I mean, 18 years, that's a long time to be with an MLM company. And I feel like, now this is just my opinion, but I feel as though if she's been in it for 18 years, no wonder she has a big following or a downline. Because, I mean, if you were in something for 18 years and you were not making money, then I'm not gonna lie, that would be on you, because you should be able to come to terms with if something is not working for you. But like I said, if you've been in an MLM company for 5 to 10 years and you haven't seen any growth, that is very concerning. That's something that I wanted to mention. But again, the fact that she's been in it for 18 years, a lot of people are going to take her advice. A lot of people are going to believe what she says. And you're going to see as we go on that this rep, it's just a bunch of fluff. There's really no tools to success in this, because I have watched this before. And I'm sorry, spoiler alert, sorry. But I just wanted to go over this because she has been part of the business for a really long time.
Ourselves that massive success requires massive action. And you guys, that's not the case at all. If I could take you guys through my 18-year journey and see every ebb and flow that I had in my business, and every business partner that I had, join me in my business, and every business partner that I had that quit my business, you guys would see that it was because I kept going through, the ups, the downs, when I had momentum going in my business, I leaned into it. When things felt a little crazy busy and I was stressed out, I just trusted the process. When things fell apart, I just kept going, and I just laser focus on why it was that I was coming into this business to begin with. I want to just encourage you guys to set kind of just a precedent for yourself, and I promise you, your teams are going to see what you're doing. They're going to see that you're building this business without them. So, I mean, obviously we have our team, but your team needs to see you leading from the front. They need to see what you're doing in those quiet moments. And what happens is we're sponsoring and, enrolling new consultants, new preferred clients into our business. And oh my gosh, my dog is driving me crazy. I am so sorry, guys. We have, we're bringing new business partners, new life into our business. And so our current team is like, hey, what are they doing? They're going without me. Yes, you guys, I love my team. I've always loved my team. But if you saw pictures of my business, like when I went region, and pictures of those that were in my business when I went nation, I mean, I would be shocked if there's 1 or 2 people that are in those pictures that are still in my business. And you know what? It's because I stayed consistent with those little things. And
having a revolving door, regardless of where it is, if it's at a 9 to 5, if it's at an MLM, if it's whatever it is, having a revolving door of employees is not a good sign. The one job that I've talked about here on this channel before, when we first moved down to Florida and I had an office job, no joke, there were people that wouldn't last longer than a week because of how terrible it was. I did make a video on, and it was one of my earlier videos where I talked about how my dream job turned into my worst nightmare, because it was my dream job. What I was doing there was what I was already doing with my blog, and it was something that I enjoyed. But after becoming part of the company, it was a nightmare. It was literally a nightmare. But there was a revolving door. If you look up the Glassdoor reviews for that particular company, which I'm not going to name names, but all of the reviews are people don't last longer than maybe a month because of how horrible the owners are and because of how toxic the work environment is. So with there being a revolving door, that's not a good sign. So I'm shocked that she even brought that up, because it's not a good look. It's really not.
Little things, and I stayed consistent with bringing on new people into my business, doing the presentations, doing the one-on-ones. I didn't just focus and put all of my eggs in one person's basket. So I want to encourage you guys to just improve by 1%. That's not that big of a deal. 1% improvement. You guys, it's not necessarily the most grandiose, notable change that you're going to see, and you're not going to see this massive shift in your business, but I promise you, and I hope you guys know my heart, and I hope you guys trust me when I say this. I know it may not be exciting. I know that people may be like, oh my gosh, she's a total rock star. But what they are going to see is that you are consistent in those little things. And you guys, when that happens, it's going to compound over time. And all of a sudden, you're going to be experiencing this crazy, massive momentum. And that's what people are going to be seeing. But it's that 1%, just a 1% change in your effort, a 1% change in your habits. By improving just 1%, it can be meaningful in the long run, in the big picture. If you guys can get 1% better every day.
I'll agree with her that you should be able to improve every single day, even if it's just by a little bit here and there. I do think that that's always good, to constantly be going for your dreams, not your delusions though. I should make that into merch, dreams, not delusions. But trying to get to that point, even if you want to look at YouTube, for example, there are people who started off with just a couple of views. I mean, really anybody that starts on YouTube, you start off with a couple of views and then you start getting this momentum. So you keep going and you keep creating content. And you keep improving, which is why, I love constructive criticism, because it helps me in order to improve. And I love that. So I do agree with her that improving 1% every single day can help you get to that end goal. But the fact that she promised, and she actually said, I promise you that if you stay consistent and you improve that 1% every single day, that you're going to see the momentum and stuff like that. Because, okay, so let me ask this rep something. What about the people who do put in that extra effort and who go above and beyond and do, instead of 1%, let's say that they improve by 50%. And those people still aren't successful with the MLM that is Arbonne. Then what? What are you going to tell those people? Because you promised that if these people stay consistent, that they're going to be successful. Because a lot of people that I know that are ex-MLM reps, they were consistent. They did the same thing every single day. And let me just tell you, posting 5 times a day on social media every single day and trying to come up with ideas of what to say, of what kind of Shakeology recipe to share, or what kind of progress picture you want to post, what kind of transformation do you want to post? Do you want to talk about your weight loss? Do you want to talk about the inches you lost? Do you want to talk about your mindset? That all takes time. And there are people who stay consistent with that. I did. And I didn't make it like she's saying that these people will. So explain that to me.
Every day, 1% better every day than what you were the day before. Over 1 year, you're going to end up 37% times better and further along in your life and in your business than you were before you did that. You guys, success is the byproduct of your daily habits, what you're doing on a consistent basis. If you want to see where you're going to end up in your life, if you want to see where your family, if you want to see where your business partners are going to end up in their life, what you need to do is you need to follow. You need to follow what they're doing on a daily basis. Look at what they're doing in those quiet moments when no one's watching. It's those little, them staying consistent even when they have wins and when they have losses. And what's going to happen is they're going to continue to compound over time. And then 10 years, 20 years down the road, you're going to see what's going to happen from all of those little things for all of those years that have compounded. So the reason I'm kind of explaining it in this way, I want you guys to think about where you're at in your life, where it is that you want to go. What do you want in your business? We talk about goal setting, we talk about all these things, but at the end of the day, it comes down to what are we doing to work towards those goals? Like, what's the action? What's the action? What are the actions that we're doing on a daily basis that are adding up to us being able to live out those goals, those dreams? You guys, those breakthrough moments are often the result of many previous actions that you guys take. So, this booklet, some of you guys, I don't know if you guys are like me, those of you guys that may not have been in Arbonne for a while, when I had shared this at the beginning of my business, but about me at the beginning of my business, but I would get a new book. When someone would tell me, hey, read this, I would buy this book and I would be so excited. I could not wait to get that book because I'd be like, oh, this book is going to be what has all the information that I need. It's the magic key. It's what everyone's not telling me that I want to know. It's going to help me get to RVP. Have any of you guys thought that, like, that book, that's the one thing? I remember like reading like your first year into network marketing and, the 4-year career, like literally I've read so many books, and every time I'm thinking like, this is going to be the ship. This is the one little nugget that I need to take me where I need to go. You guys, what I'm going to tell you about this book, it's what you're learning, who you're becoming by doing those little things every single day. This stuff, this is the meat. This is what is going to grow your business. Those little bitty things. It may not seem like a big deal to you. You guys may have heard some of this stuff before, but what's the difference? Well, you guys, you have to ask yourself, how I'm living right now, how has it been affected by not being consistent with my daily habits, with the things that I know that I needed to do? You guys, what you're going to hear from us is anything that you have not heard before. You've heard everything before from top MVPs, RVPs. You guys have heard it from your sponsors, your uplines, sidelines. You've heard this stuff. But why did you not stay consistent? It's like, when we're in it and we're on fire and we're excited and we're pumped up, we do all the things, right? But then we find ourselves kind of like slacking and kind of going back into our habits. And that's why things stay the same. In order to change, we have to change. We have to change our daily habits. So those breakthrough moments.
Okay, I'll agree with her to a point. Not towards using this towards MLM, but if we want to take what she's saying, she would be a really good motivational speaker, I feel like. I feel like she might actually have some kind of, if she used what she's saying for good, I think I would actually like her a lot. Not that I don't like her, because I don't know her, but I just don't like the fact that she's saying this to MLM reps. But I will agree with her that when it comes to even, let's use me for example, because I just not too long ago talked about on social media and on my channel about my progress I'm starting to just kind of try to live a little bit healthier. I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to eat a little bit healthier because for the past over a year and a year and a half, I would say, I fell off the bandwagon of eating healthy, and I have consumed way too much Taco Bell and way too many Ruffled chips in the past year and a half. So I'll agree with her to the point where you have to step back and kind of look at your everyday. I don't want to say that you have to stay consistent, because that's literally all that she says in this. But for me, in order to be healthier, in order for me to, let's say, lose weight, I can't fall back into those bad habits of eating Taco Bell for lunch every single day. I have to stay consistent with eating healthier, with making sure that instead of eating a family size bag of chips, that I substitute that for either one, an actual meal because of all of the calories, for example, or two, that if I want a snack, I snack with something healthy. I kind of, am I making sense? But the fact that, what have we learned so far? We're about 9 minutes into her video. What have we learned so far? All she's saying is that you need to stay consistent. This is nothing that you haven't heard before, that you've heard this from so many people in Arbonne. And she's already talked about reading books. And I want to say that it's personal development, because of course she said that she read a lot of network marketing books and stuff like that, but how much you want to bet that there was a lot of personal development and a lot of self-help books that were also included in her books that she was reading for her business?
Moments you guys are going to come from the result of all those little things that you do over time that compound. I want to give you an example. Bamboo. I don't know if you guys have heard the story about bamboo, but this is pretty inspiring. Bamboo can barely be seen for the first 5 years as it builds extensive roots. Get that. As it builds extensive root systems underground, okay, before exploding 90 feet within 6 weeks. You guys, so it's like, it's the roots, it's the systems, it's the things that make us like become, it's the becoming I talk so much about. We become a district manager, we become an area manager, we become a regional vice president, we become a national vice president. That becoming is, it's not the title, it's not the paycheck, it's not that extra percentage, it's who we become along the way, what we're learning about ourselves and how strong we actually are and how big our rubber butt can get. You guys, we are all gonna be knocked down. We're all gonna have life happen. We're gonna have stuff happen to us, but it's what we do with what happened to us, how we're able to use that and grow into it and lean into it. Habits are often going to appear to make absolutely no difference at all. Your little things that you do on a regular basis, you think, oh, this isn't that big of a deal, so it's easy to quit, right? Until you cross that critical threshold where literally you feel like you cannot keep up with your business. Have any of you guys ever experienced momentum in your business where you felt like you can't even keep up with the people and all the things that you have to do, the follow-up and the business partners? Like, there has been many times in my business, I've had many seasons where I felt crazy busy, and it was because of all the little things that I did over time that added up to bring me to those moments. Most people make a few changes and they fail to see the results, right? They make the phone call. They're like, okay, I'm going to do it this month. They go through and they do the checklist, right? They do it last week. You did it last week. Now we're on week 2 and it's like, okay, you know, I'm going to do it. But then you didn't get any phone calls back. Nobody responded and you didn't get any sales. So it's easy to quit. It's easy to be like, yeah, this didn't really work. This is just another thing I wasted my money on, another book, right? The outside world only sees the dramatic event, the promotion, what we post on social media. That's what everybody else sees. But you guys, we know, those of us that have experienced success in our life and our business, we know what it took to get there. We know that it took all of those ups and downs and twists and turns, and the fact that we...
What I would love for her to explain is, and I can't remember if she gets to it eventually, but when she talks about how when these people, they do exactly what they're told, they do exactly what she's telling them to do, and they still don't see any kind of success. So they say that this isn't for them, that they just wasted their money. First of all, yes, you did waste your money, in my opinion, but she's not giving them any kind of tool as to how to get out of that. How do you go from not hearing back from anybody or even being blocked on social media? She's not telling these people how to go from that to, well, here's what you can do instead, or here's what you can do when you get to this standstill, when you get to this spot where you're not seeing momentum. Because I don't understand why she's not giving advice as to what to do then. She just goes into a bunch of other mumbo jumbo, which in my opinion is just a bunch of fluff, but that's just my opinion.
And the fact that we didn't quit those, you know, one-on-one appointments and group presentations and phone calls and three-way calls, that the times that we had to exchange time away from the very people that we wanted to build our business for, right? So I want you guys to ask yourself, how have you, by you guys not doing what you know that you needed to do on a consistent basis, month after month, year after year, how has that played out in your life? How has that affected your family? How has that affected, you know, who you could be, where you could be, you know, what your 2020 could have looked like? So the outside world is only gonna, you know, see the big parts, but you guys, you know that at the end of the day, it's what you guys did a long time ago, and that's where you guys are at today because of what you've done in those little moments. So all the parties, all the one-on-ones, all the conference calls. Some of you guys may not even know, but like back in the day before we had Zoom, we used to do Skype SKYPE. Some of you guys may not even know what that is. We used to do throughway calls. We used to do like 1-800, not 100 numbers, but there was some kind of a numbers we'd call in, and conference calls. Like it was all conference calls, voice calls. We did trainings. You guys, I showed up. I was always taught, if you want to grow your business, you got to show up. The VPs are always at, those events. Like they're always the ones that are there. And so I knew that if I was going to be a VP, I was going to show up in my business. I would show up at those presentations. I would show up at every appointment. I would show up believing that that person was meant to get in front of me, that was the right person, the right opportunity. I believed it. I dreamed and I drove from presentation to appointment, just praying like, God, can just give me one, just give me one this month. You guys, and I promise you, if you keep doing it, it will add up. You're going to have bad months. You're going to have bad years. I have had a heck of a year this year. But you know what? I can step back and I can look at how many amazing things that have happened in my life this year, even amidst how awful I have had some pretty awful experiences this year. I've had so many amazing blessings. And a lot of those blessings happened because of relationships that I had built prior to this. The trust that I had, the teams that I built. It's all the things that I did beforehand that got me through some of the toughest times in my business. So just when you find yourself thinking that nothing's happening, you guys, that is the moment when every single thing is happening in your business that's supposed to happen. Big things come from small beginnings. The seed of every single habit, you guys, is a single tiny decision. That's the seed to every big thing that's going to happen in your life and in your business. As that decision is repeated, a habit will form. It's going to sprout and it's going to start growing a stronger business for you. You guys, my results had very little to do with the goals that I set. So we all talk about set goals, beginning of the year. Set your goal for RVP, MVP, blah, 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 whatever. We all set our goals. I have goals. I've done them every year. I think goals are important. But what happens a lot of times is people get confused about the difference between goals, and systems. They set, a goal to go somewhere, but they don't have the systems and the action in place to be able to know how to achieve that goal. So everything that I had to do, if I look back at my success in my business, had to do with the systems that I was plugged into, not the goals that I set. So what's the difference between goals and systems? Goals are about the results that you want to achieve, okay? But systems are about the process that's going to lead you to those results. So you guys, the system, the daily to-dos, what's in this book, what we've been talking about, those little things that are going to add up, getting in front of 40 people every single month, having 40 conversations, doing 5 follow-ups a day, doing that self-development 20 minutes every single day. It's those little things. That's a system. That's a system that you're going to stay consistent with, and that's going to bring you to where you want to go, to where you can hit those goals or achieve those goals that you set. So systems are about the process that lead to the results. You want to fall in love with the process, not fall in love with the results. And you guys, I'm going to tell you this because it's hard. There is always going to be a carrot dangling in front of you. I found myself at a place, I would say, well, it was 10 years ago. It was right around the year that I had my stroke. And I found myself feeling unsettled. I was making, amazing money with Arbonne. I was living an incredible life, had an amazing team, felt just very thankful and blessed. And I got comfortable. I got comfortable with where I was at. And I didn't really have that drive and that momentum or that desire to go out and do what I had done all those years before. But what happened is I lost that fire in my belly. And I started making it, that mindset was about me. It wasn't about other people. It wasn't about all the people that were meant to come into my life and in my business, because I made it about me. So, I want to encourage you guys that, to think outside of your body.
First, before I say anything about this, if this rep ever comes across this video, I really hope that your health is okay. And I am sorry to hear about how you had a stroke. That must have been so scary. And I really, truly hope that her health is okay. Along with that, speaking on health, you're allowed to take breaks when you go through something like that. Honestly, she doesn't look that much older than me, maybe a little bit older than me, but when she's talking about having a stroke 10 years ago, she could have easily been maybe even my age. And I cannot imagine going through that right now. That would be just traumatic, honestly, and that would be so scary, and that would be a lot to handle. So for her to, and I'm trying so hard to be respectful here, but for her to bring that up and then say how she fell behind in her business and that she didn't have a good mindset because she ended up not really caring all that much, that fire inside of her was kind of gone, but it wasn't anybody else's fault but her own. Let me just say something real quick. You're allowed to take a break to focus on yourself and your health. A stroke is serious. That's not just getting a cold. A stroke is a very serious thing. So in a sense, whether she realized that she did it or not, she kind of used that as a way to not necessarily market to these people, but I guess kind of, because it's almost ingraining this into her downline's brains that you need to keep going, that you need to have this positive mindset, that this is toxic positivity. Because I'm sorry, if you're facing some kind of health issues, you're allowed to take a break. You're allowed to take a break, and you are allowed to take care of your body and yourself. We only have our one body. So that's something that I wanted to mention, because she went from just nonchalantly saying that she had a stroke to, I didn't have a fire in me. Well, I wonder why. If you had a stroke and if you were going through something that serious, you're allowed to not have that fire in you. You're allowed to take care of yourself. I'm sorry that I've repeated myself so many times in this part of the video, but that's just mind-blowing.
Of your bubble, to think outside of your immediate list of 21 reasons why. And I'm going to tell you this, you're going to make that why list and you're going to achieve those whys. You're going to check them off your list, and you're going to have to make another 21 reasons why. And that's awesome when you get a chance to be able to do that. Because I know that's what I've been able to do. But I know that there's absolutely no way that I would have achieved the success that I have in my life if I would not have set the bar again. Like if I would not have raised the bar on what was possible within me. I needed to be inspired. I needed to be in the trenches doing the do. I needed to be alongside, partnering with my business partners to be able to experience what they were experiencing, because the Arbonne back in 2002 is a whole different ball game in 2020. And you have to stay relevant. You have to stay in the trenches and experience what your teams are experiencing. So you guys, I am, a lot of it starts with like what you say to yourself and your own beliefs. If you say, no one's joining my team, I can't book an event, I can't book a party, I can't sponsor anybody, I can't sell a product to save my life. If that's what you keep saying, that's what you're going to keep getting. This is one of the reasons why we have you do the daily 20 minutes every single day. Because when you have those crap months, and you guys are going to have, when you have the crap weeks, the crap years, and the crap days, and I'm sorry, but sometimes it is. That's what it feels like. It just feels like crap, okay? And when you have those, it is so much easier when you have the knowledge of how to fix that, how to spackle it with your mindset changing. I mean, like I can just change it. I can get out of it. Now, the last couple months have been hard. My best friend died. So there's days I just want to wallow. But you know what's so cool is I had you guys. I had you guys that texted me, that sent cards, that, I mean, like literally that's what I needed. So sometimes it was reading. It was like immersing myself. Years ago when I found myself in a funk and not really feeling like I didn't have a purpose, it was like when I came home that year, and a year later I started my nonprofit, and then I felt like I was doing what I was called to do. I was stepping into my purpose. And when you're doing what you feel like you're called to do, that's when you're going to excel in your life and in your business.
I want to pause and say, again, if this rep ever comes across this video, I'm so sorry for your loss. I cannot imagine going through that. That is incredibly hard. So I do just want to say that I'm so sorry for her loss. the thing that before that she was talking about, how that's why you do your 20 minutes of personal development, and that's why when you have a bad month, for example, or if you're having a bad time, she's talking about toxic positivity. She really is. That's what she's talking about, is like a mind over matter thing. And it's just, to me, again, if you're going through something in your life, you're allowed to take a break. You're allowed to take a step back and just kind of recoup. You're allowed to mourn in this case. You're allowed to do that. And if someone tries to tell you that you're not allowed to do that, then I would question their morals, really, honestly. I would question them as a human being, because we are allowed to take a step back and handle our health, our personal life, because sometimes, like in this case, she lost her friend. That is a big deal. That's not just something that, oh, well, gonna move on with my, no, that's not how that works. So if anyone ever tells you otherwise, regardless of if you're in an MLM or not, don't listen to them. You're allowed to take a moment for yourself. You're allowed to take, even if it's a week or more than that, you're allowed to take that time. I know people that have mourned family members for very, very long. So you're allowed to do that. So that, I'm really, really trying to be respectful here, because I feel like I should have paused it before the friend thing to talk about the toxic positivity and the personal development and all of the self-help books. But notice how in these MLMs, personal development and self-help is very, very emphasized. This is something that, and it's in every MLM. How many MLM reps have I reacted to from different companies that talk about personal development? It's a very well-known thing that you have to do in these MLMs, and they say, oh, just do it 20 minutes a day. But there's only so much positivity that you can consume, that you can't be positive all the time, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying to be pessimistic. I'm not saying to just think negatively all the time. That's not what I'm saying. But you can't think positively all the time, because not everything is sunshine and rainbows and unicorns. It's not. Life happens, things happen. And you're allowed to not just smile through it and be like, well, just gonna keep going. You're allowed to take time to yourself. So, yeah.
In your business. So you guys, your behaviors, the things that you do every single day, those are a reflection of your identity, what you think about yourself. So if you're thinking, I can't sponsor anybody, I can't get anything booked, it's a reflection of who you are based on what you think. Hopefully this is making sense, whether subconsciously or consciously. This is a fact. When you repeat a story to yourself over and over and over again, and you keep doing it year after year after year, it's easy to slide back into those same, mental grooves. I'm terrible at technology. I've heard people say this. Okay, now I loved in-person events. I loved being in front of people at group presentations. Now everything's online. I'm just not a techie person, and I'm old, and I can't do this. I can't figure it out. You guys, everything I needed to know to build my business, I learned, honestly, everything I needed to know to build my business using technology, I learned by going to google.com. If I saw something I didn't know how to do, I Googled it and I figured it out. Winners figure it out. You have to figure it out. You can't wait for somebody else to tell you how to do things. If you want to grow a successful business in Arbonne, you guys, you have to make those changes. You have to go above and beyond. You can't wait around for someone to tell you how it works. You have to figure it out. When you repeat a story over and over and over again, that story is easy to make yourself believe. I'm terrible at technology. I'm not a good presenter. I'm not a girly girl. I can't sell makeup and skincare. I've had people say that to me. I'm more into nutrition, or I don't wear makeup. How is anyone going to join my team? You guys, you have to change. I am a business builder magnet. I am a rock star executive national vice president. I am an amazing leader. It's those affirmations, what you say to yourself, you guys, because that's going to sink in And it's going to make your psyche be like, girl, you got this. And then you're going to start doing the things that it takes to be able to live the life that you guys are wanting to live. The reason that you fail to stick to the habits that your self-image is because your self-image gets in the way. You start these habits. We've been doing this last week. We're doing it again this week. The reason people quit and don't stick with it is because that self-image, our identity, gets in the way. Progress is going to require us unlearning and instead learning to become the very best version of ourselves. We have to constantly edit our thoughts. You guys, it's a daily.
There it is. Become the best version of yourself. To back it up a little bit, I'm kind of confused on where she was going with the whole, and I might be misunderstanding this, and this might be a little bit of a stretch as to how I'm understanding it. But she talked about how, well, what if someone comes up to you and says, I don't do makeup. I don't wear makeup. So how am I supposed to have people join my team if I'm not even wearing makeup and I'm into more of the nutrition side? First of all, what she should have said is, okay, well then find people who are into fitness. Now, I'm not saying to do that with this MLM, but this is what she should have said. But what it seems like she's saying, and again, I might be misunderstanding, but what it seems like she's saying is to change yourself and to wear makeup. From all of the little things that she said, that's what I got from that, is that I have to do whatever it takes to build my business, which means I have to change myself. I have to go from not wearing makeup to now wearing makeup. Am I the only one that took it that way? Because that's how I took it. And I don't think that you should have to change who you are and your identity, because there are people out there who have never worn makeup before, and that's just who they are. They don't want to wear makeup, and that's fine. I mean, Alicia Keys, she's a celebrity who ended up saying, you know what? I'm not wearing makeup anymore. So I don't understand why you would tell someone who doesn't wear makeup, doesn't like makeup, well, find a way to like it, find a way to wear it. And this is how they indoctrinate you into, in my opinion, the commercial cult. This is a perfect example, if I'm understanding correctly. I may be completely wrong, and that's totally fine if I'm wrong, but that's how I understood it. That's how I understood it.
Guys, it's a daily thing. Every day I will find myself like just getting into my head, one little thing, one comment, one text that maybe everyone, there's two different perspectives, right? Two people can experience the exact same thing they heard, identical, but have two totally different perspectives of how that thing happened based on who they are, their belief system, and their past. You guys, we can change that. Your identity is going to emerge out of your daily habits. So every action you take is a vote. It's a vote for the type of person you wish to become. No single instance, you guys, is going to transform your business. No one rock star business builder that joins your team is going to take you to the top of this business. But as you start voting for yourself and you start, experiencing some wins, and even when you experience the dips and the losses, you keep saying, you know what, you got this, girl, keep going. Those votes are going to build up, and so does the evidence of your new identity, this rock star that has always been within you that you guys have to believe in. Your habits are the path to changing your identity, what you do on a daily basis when nobody else is watching. The most practical way to change who you are, you guys, is to change what you do on a daily basis. So this is what I have for you guys tonight. I hope that these little nuggets kind of suck in. I want you guys to know that I am doing this. I'm doing this right along with you. I have, goals that I have set for myself this year, even amidst this crazy 2020 year. But I know that the only way that I'm going to be able to reach those goals is if I do those daily things that when compounded over time become habits that sink in. And I have to constantly work on my mindset and my self-talk, because it's those things that are going to bring me to the life that I want to be living. So you guys have a great evening, and I will be.
That's the end of that, because I'm not. Does that not sound like a cult? To change your identity? That is very worrisome. You shouldn't have to change your identity. You really shouldn't. I'm all for trying to better yourself and trying to improve yourself. But there comes a point in time where, yes, you can improve yourself and you could do better. But this sounds like a cult, in my opinion. To change your identity or to merge who you are with your new identity to become the best version of yourself? Am I crazy? Am I the only one that's seeing that last portion of what she said? Just, you can call me crazy in the comments if you want. And maybe it's a bit of a stretch, and maybe I'm over exaggerating. That is a possibility as well. But that to me sounded like indoctrination and brainwashing and cult-like behavior. That is very, very worrisome. And let me just ask you guys, if you've watched up to here, what did you get out of her video? Besides, and leave all of my commentary aside, what did you get out of her video? Please leave your response in the comment section below. Because, and pause it right here before you hear my opinion, but because what I got out of this was, in my opinion, Arbonne is potentially a commercial cult, if not actually one, allegedly, in my opinion. 2, to stay consistent. 3, to change my identity. That's all that I got out of her 25-minute call. That's all that I got. 25 minutes. And it, like I said, it's all fluff. There's no tools to success here. It's just a bunch of nonsense. And this is someone who has been in the company for 18 years. I would expect, now, I think that she would make, if she used her speaking skills for good, minus that little cult-like thing at the end of it, if she used her public speaking and motivational, like trying to, the things that I did agree with her on to a point, if she used it for good, she could be a really great speaker. And the fact that she talks about how she started a nonprofit, that's amazing. That is amazing that she started a nonprofit. I don't know what it's for, but I know someone who is starting a nonprofit, and it's a lot. So if it is for some kind of like a really good cause that she's not using to sell her Arbonne products through, I think that's great. But I'm just shocked at the fact that for 25 minutes, someone who's been with Arbonne for 18 years basically just told their downline to stay consistent and change their identity. That's it. That's it. And if I were on that call, yeah, okay, great. If I was really back into Beachbody, for example, the way that I was, I'd be like, yes, this is great motivation. This will make me stay in the company longer. But looking from an outsider's perspective, if I were on this call, I would be horrified and very concerned, because there were no tools to success. There were no ways of how to build my business. She would start to talk about certain things and then say, just be consistent. She would say, oh, well, there's going to be times where nobody gets back to you, but stay consistent. How is that a tool to success? there's no educational information behind it. I'm speechless. I don't know what else to say. So you guys can let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm sorry that this video was so long and that I rambled so much, but some of the things that she said are, yeah, just thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And this is Monica reporting to you live from a highway. Bye.